official home for Beaver sports. On the campus of Bemidji State University, this is The Huddle with Zach Lunt and Dan Amundsen. The Huddle starts now.
Welcome to The Huddle. I'm your host, Zachary Lunt, and my co-host over here is Dan Amundsen.
How's it going?
So, Dan, we start off with some basketball here. Men's, they lost both games. Friday, they lost 84-73, and then on Saturday, they lost 100-97. And first, on Friday, it was against Northern State, and on Saturday, it was against Moorhead. What's your thoughts on the weekend loss here?
Well, we talked about it last week again, that defense has been a big problem for them, and that showed once again this week. They scored plenty of points to win, especially scoring 97 points on Saturday. That should get you a win in college basketball. But it surely wasn't enough to get the job done as their defense continues to lack, and that's something they've really got to tighten up.
For sure. And now for our segment here is under or over. Will Bemidji State be under or over 50% on field shooting percentage?
Yeah, I'd got to go with the over on that. They've been, like I said, they've been scoring a ton of points. They're putting up shots, they're making shots. They're going to continue to score enough points to win, so I got to take the over on that. We just got to hope that the defense comes into play and they start winning a few more games.
Yeah, for sure. And the men's are playing against Augustana this upcoming week. What's your thoughts on this upcoming game?
Yeah, I think they'll pull out a win on this one. Augustana is a decent team. They're 5-3, I believe. So they're decent, but so is Bemidji. I think it'll be a fun game to watch and probably another high-scoring one. But I hope that the higher score is Bemidji's.
Yeah, and then for sure they are a pretty good team, at least for what we saw in standings 5-3 or the 5-2 it was for Augustana. So they're not actually too bad of a team. We'll see how the men can match up with that. Let's now go into women's basketball here. Women's, they lost both Friday and Saturday as well. Northern State on Friday, they lost 69-57, and they lost to Moorhead 72-47. What's your thoughts on that loss this weekend?
Yeah, here we see an opposite of what we're seeing on the men's team. The women's, they're just not scoring. They're still having costly turnovers, and they're not putting the ball in the hoop. And when you don't score, you don't win. They're playing, I think, well enough defense to win some of these games, and some of them they're not. They're letting up too many points. But at the same time, they've been low-scoring games. You just got to score more, basically. That comes down, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, for sure. And especially on Saturday, playing against Moorhead, they had it was about 20 rebounds for Bemidji State, and they had over 45 rebounds on at least Moorhead side. So, I mean, that's also a big factor into that rebounding.
Yeah, you got to get those rebounds. If you don't rebound, you're giving the other team too many chances, and that leads to more points on their side and less points for you, and that's how you lose.
Yeah. And what do you think BSU women's team has to do to get on track here?
Well, I really just think they need to hammer down some drills in practice, get that ball in the hoop, whether it's layups, field goals, maybe just go back to your basics, making free throws, stuff like that. Don't try to get too fancy. Just try to get some simple plays, simple game plans that's going to get the ball to the hoop, get you quality shots, and get those shots made.
Yeah. Do you think BSU, for this upcoming game they're playing against Augustana on Friday and Saturday, do you think BSU will be over or under 60 points?
I gotta go.
Side.
Yeah, I gotta go with the under. Augustana, their women's team is very, very good. They're 10-1. I can't see this being a game where they get back on track. I think they're going to be held to probably under that amount of points, under 60 points. I can't see it. Them righting the ship on this game. So we'll look for that in coming weeks.
Yeah, and so what's your thoughts on the game, at least? Because you already said about they're probably going to be under 60 points, but what else do you think? Do you think they have even a chance to even compete, or do you think they're just out of the loop?
I hate to say it, but I think this might be one of the uglier games, especially that we've seen so far. Augustana, they're just a really good team, and Bemidji hasn't proven themselves, but Augustana has. So this could be one that gets out of hand. I hope it doesn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does.
Yeah, especially this 10-1 is a pretty good record as a basketball team, and our women's team has struggled a lot, especially on the three-point line. I think we had less than 20% almost on the three-point line. So, I mean, that's not good when we shoot for like 8 threes for 30 and we don't make most of those. So
For sure.
So let's go into women's hockey here. So BSU lost Friday 3-0, and they won Saturday 3-1. What's your thoughts on those games?
Well, it's a good sign. They swept last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, and then come back and win another one this weekend. It looks like we're turning the ship in the right direction, which is what we've been wanting to see. It's what we've been hoping to see all season. It's coming a little late in the year, but it's starting to come now, and I like the way they're playing. They had great goaltending all weekend, and that's how you're going to start winning more games. So I'm really happy with this weekend, actually.
Yeah, for sure. And then their next upcoming game is against Union College. Do you think they're over or under, or they have a combination of 8 points, over or under?
I'm going to go with the under. I really liked, Lauren Bench played really, really well, especially 2 weekends ago and this weekend. She set actually a record for the most minutes, for most shutout minutes for Bemidji, I think with 161 minutes. So I really like the way she's playing. I think she's going to keep the puck out of the net. And Bemidji's offense just hasn't been super, super great, so I could see some low-scoring games this weekend.
Yeah, and so what do you think about this game? Do you think they're possible Bemidji will sweep the game, or is it going to be a split possibly?
Yeah, I'd see more of a split. I don't have enough confidence in them yet. Like I said, I really like the way the direction they're going, but I don't have enough confidence in them yet to say they're going to sweep a series like this one. But I can see them pulling out one game, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So the men's we're going on to. BSU splits the games this weekend. The Friday night, BSU wins 4-0, and then on Saturday night they lost 4-2. What's your thoughts on the losing against the 1-13 team?
Yeah, so now a 2-win team, unfortunately, and Bemidji's not the team who wanted to give them that second win. It really was disappointing. I was all excited Friday night. They played really well, absolutely dominated Alabama in every aspect of the game. I thought for sure Saturday they were going to come back in and win, but unfortunately they didn't, and there's a couple different factors into that, one of that being goaltending that I think we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but really just disappointing to see the way those games went.
Yeah, and you were talking about, we had thoughts on the weird goal, that penalty goal?
Yeah, so Saturday night, it was 2-1. I think it was the third period, and there's a delayed call coming on Bemidji. And so for those of you who don't know hockey very well, typically when there's a delayed call, Bemidji can't touch the puck. Once they do touch the puck, the play is whistled dead, then the other team goes on the power play. And so in this case, Alabama had possession of the puck, and the delayed call was being made, so they pulled their goalie 6-on-5, and Alabama goes down and scores. Now, typically when that happens in a hockey game, that power play never gets to happen. And for whatever reason, the refs still gave them that power play, which led to another goal, and now Alabama took the lead 3-2, and they never looked back. They went on to win the game. So that was just kind of a weird little controversy that I never got an explanation for. No one really got an explanation for. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if something else, so there's another call that happened right as the puck went in the net or what, but typically in that situation, as soon as the puck goes in the net, it's a dead thing, so there really shouldn't be any penalties called, and once that goal happens, there's no power play. So that was a little weird and really led to us losing that game.
Yeah, I wish they would have at least communicated somehow with the fans or something like that, at least let us know, because nobody really knew about that thing. Right. It was kind of a weird goal in general, just because of the penalty and late call. So our next talk here is, should Zach Driscoll be benched?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but he just hasn't looked strong in these past couple weeks. He got pulled last week, 2 weekends ago, and then this last week he played Saturday and 4 goals on 17 shots. That's not a very good stat line. And it was hard for us to see, looking through the lens of a camera at the game, to see how those goals were really going in, but they looked kind of soft, at least from my angle. I don't know what you thought, but I thought they looked pretty soft, and you got to wonder if you leave Johnson in there. He played outstanding again on Friday with the shutout, so I think you got to almost ride the hot hand and maybe save Driscoll on the bench. I know you don't like playing goalies back-to-back. I know that's tough on them, but they have a whole week to recover and get back Friday, Saturday. I think they can handle it. So if I were the coach, I would really consider that as being an option.
Yeah, at least test it out and see what happens Friday, Saturday, if it can work, because they used to have Blitzer who could do both Friday and Saturday nights. And I think now they were trying to figure out who was the best goalie. And then on top of that, I don't think they could trust any of the goalies that they had.
Correct.
To be on both Friday and Saturday. But Johnson's obviously proved himself, and possibly he should be being the starting goalie again Friday and Saturdays, and maybe Driscoll coming in just to give him a break,
Yeah, and I think this weekend would be the weekend to do that against Alaska Anchorage.
Yeah, and so the upcoming game is Alaska Anchorage, like you said. What's your thoughts on that game?
Well, they're again a one-win team, so it's going to be a little sneaky. Last week we played Alabama, it was a one-win team, and ended up giving them their second win. So you can't underlook Alaska Anchorage. as they could come in and steal another game just like Alabama did. Now, granted, Alabama's a big rival of ours, and that could be a factor. They played a little harder against us, and Alaska's not necessarily that kind of a team, but at the same time, you have that same risk. You come in and take them as some cream puffs, you're going to go and lose a second game, you know. You don't want to see that happen, but with a one-win team, you could test something like running your goalie back-to-back games out and see if that's going to be something that can happen, or if Johnson's just not in good enough shape to do it, or if there's another factor in it. But I would like to see that happen this weekend because I think we can go win both these games.
Yeah, for sure. So will BSU score 5 goals in both games, over or under?
I got to go with over. I think, Charlie Combs is really, really hot right now. He had a hat trick Friday, which we didn't mention. He was the WCHA Player of the Week. So I think he's going to stay on fire and probably put a couple in himself, and he's got the rest of the team to back him up on that. So I'm going to go with the over.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's all we have for this week, but also we are going to be done for the rest of the semester. We'll take a couple of weeks off for Christmas, so I hope you all have a great Christmas, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all next time.